afternoon, Lieutenant Governor. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
Can't believe you drove all the way over here to just come to this little roofing shop, but it's pretty exciting. So I know you get interviewed by all kind of people, and everybody wants to talk politics, but I'm just going to tell you we're a little bit more good old boy here. We want to talk about you. So anyways, I'm Larry. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
All of these folks out here, these are friends and supporters. And as a matter of fact, when we invited most of them, they were like, okay, so that's who we're voting for, right, Mr. Neese? And I was like, yeah. So so you got appointed by Ron DeSantis.
That's the guy.
Right after the tornadoes?
Yeah, it was back in August. Honestly, every day has been kind of like Groundhog Day, just go, go, go.
Oh, I bet.
It's been incredible. But, it's been interesting, really, since June, where we flew over to the Middle East to bring home those 2,300 American citizens. We came back from that, got settled, got scheduled, and then just kept moving around the state as a senator and then as lieutenant governor. It's been pretty surreal.
So one of the things that always is curious to me is, we see you guys out here doing it, but one of the things that I want to find out is what's something in your role that gets overlooked all the time that you really think people need to know about as the lieutenant governor?
Well, I think the thing that I enjoy the most is the fact that we do get to go sit down and talk to people in communities.
Sure.
I make time to talk to people from all walks of life, everywhere we go. I like to go to the places that others haven't historically gone, because everyone wants to have a voice. Everybody wants to feel like their government's connected.
Sure.
And when you're present, you're at the table, people communicate, we can really solve complex problems the more we interact, the more we cooperate.
Sure. What about, tell me a life lesson that this job has given you that you're really grateful for so far since you've been the lieutenant governor?
Well, I think it's an ongoing, reoccurring lesson, actually. Yeah. Growing up poor, I came from a really broken home. I was born to a 16-year-old kid, adopted by my grandparents, raised on our family farm, which we lost. It's all the makings of a great country song, right? And, it's not where you come from in life. It's what you do with where you come from. And those points that can break you are actually things that make you stronger. I don't believe God's trying to break us. He's trying to make us stronger. It takes heat and pressure to temper steel. It's the same thing with people. He's just trying to bring us up that next level and get us through to the next thing.
Sure.
You gotta experience it.
And that's my dad over there in the booth over there. See, that's Mr. Neese. And he...
Good to see you.
We were raised as missionaries, so we lived all over the world. And he just came back from 30 years in Africa.
Where at?
In Kenya.
Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
I had a unique opportunity. That was the one job in the military that I wish I had taken, but it didn't work out. We had some health issues with our youngest boy. It would have been a 3 or 4 year tour over there at the embassy in Kenya.
How many boys do you have?
We have 2 together, my wife and I have one through a prior marriage who's 29, almost 30.
Gotcha.
And he doesn't like politics, so he just chooses to not really be a part of the political world.
Sure. So busy schedule. Florida's crazy. Everything's running all the time. What would you do? I ask myself and my friends this all the time. If you had an extra hour every day, if you could just have one special hour, what would you use it for?
Well, I have an 11 and 14-year-old, so it wouldn't be sleep, I promise.
Right.
But, honestly, I would love to have more time at home with our kids, with my wife, just spending that time focused. Those moments are so precious. And when you serve a state as big and diverse and unique as Florida, you're on the go a lot, and they pay a price for that. So that time is so precious.
You have one guy, 23 million people. That's a lot. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine of all the stuff that you've accomplished. 23 years as a Green Beret, Purple Heart recipient.
Couple, yeah.
Family man, raising children, governing a state. What do you think if you could ask God, or you would guess what God was the most proud of you for, what do you think his happiness would be in your accomplishment? What makes him the happiest?
Well, I would hope that it would be the fact that I serve others before myself.
All right.
That you take care of the people around you. I joined the military, not because I wanted to go to war, but because I cared about my family, my community, my state, my country.
Sure.
I served in the nonprofit sector to give back to people affected by wildfires, tornadoes, hurricanes. We fed almost 14.5 million people over about 7 years. And then as a senator and a lieutenant governor, you certainly don't do it for the money. You don't do it for the fun of it. You do it because you impact people's lives in a positive fashion.
Sure.
I think that's what he'd be most proud of.
The gotcha moment. So this is always the one that I want to know about people is what's the most heartfelt thing that's happened to you since you've been lieutenant governor, since you've been in the state? What's the one thing that's really just gripped your life that you'll never forget?
Well, actually, I'm going to go back just a little bit further. It'd be June of last year. There have been only a couple of things outside of the being married to my wife, the birth of our children. Those moments just grab you, right? They do. They're difference makers. But when we came back from the Middle East, we had been doing flights back and forth. We did cross-border operations all over Israel and into Jordan and different places in the Middle East. But when we landed in Tampa, and that plane hit the ground, and you saw the emotion from people when they touched down. These are people who thought they were going to die and never come home and see their kids, never see their family, never see their parents. They thought their lives were going to be ended. But, as a senator at the time and then soon to be lieutenant governor, we flew into a combat zone to go bring our people home. And they didn't expect it. They didn't think it would really come to be. And when they touched down, man, it was overwhelming to see that emotion, to see people who were so grateful, so gracious, so excited to be home and be back in America and really appreciate what we have. It's that 9/12 mindset, right?
Sure.
September 11th was cataclysmic. September 12th, we were the American people again.
Right.
It's something that can be done, and it's something that we can choose to do. And if we can replicate it more, we can remind people that we are the American people, that America is, was, and always will be worth fighting for. That's right. And it starts right here at home.
Well, I can tell you, boy, we've lived overseas in some very, very rough country. We grew up in Haiti. I was there from 11 to 17. I speak the language. That's very good for yard sales, but but it is it's really it's amazing that people don't have the grasp of how amazing it is in America. I mean, it's just unbelievable compared to the rest of the world.
If you listen to the World Cup narrative, it's pretty interesting. You see all these people on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram talking about, holy cow, I thought America was crazy and so miserable and angry. And then they get here and they're like, we saw Buc-ee's and we saw Wawa and we saw all this great food and freedom and the American people.
That's right.
It's incredible.
We're the ones that make it great. Couple of quick questions. These are going to be a little more hot seat. You didn't receive these, but they're going to be kind of fun. So you live in Tallahassee. So are you?
I actually live in Tampa.
Oh, you live in Tampa. Mm-hmm. So are you Knowles? Are you Gators or Hurricanes?
Well, actually, I am none of the above.
None.
USF.
USF.
Go Bulls,
gotcha.
Right? Yeah.
I did that roof at my last company before I started this one. We did the roofs over there at USF.
All right.
No. Bucket list concert. If you could go to one, which one is the one you'd like to see? Even if they're already gone, which one would you have loved to see?
I would love to go to something like Waylon Jennings with
my man.
Yeah, old school country cool.
Sure.
Maybe mix in some modernish artists like Toby Keith, but Hank Williams Jr. All of that old country vibe together. I think it's Americana. It's the right sound, and it's kind of where my roots come from, out on the farm. So,
all right, this one's a little more political. Bongino or Carlson?
Bongino.
All right, that's what I figured. I was guessing.
Yeah.
Bourbon or Scotch?
Bourbon.
Perfect. And we
rye, to be exact.
Rye, to be exact. Yeah, I don't have any over there on the shelf, but that's okay. I have some at the other shelves.
All right.
So funny little thing that happened. Stu.
I do.
So Stu called me this morning at like 6:15. Him and
I believe
Jen.
it.
Yeah, it's been much earlier prior to that, but this morning it was like 6:15, and they were like, "Listen, we got this young man. He's really cool. He interviews wrestling fighters, and they're like, he's got like 50,000 followers on Instagram and on TikTok. How old are you?
9.
He's 9 years old. So I thought it was going to be fun to interview the lieutenant governor, but I think it's going to be more fun to have the World Wrestling Kid interview the governor for a few minutes. So,
well, let's do this. Look at that.
All right. Everybody, this is the World Wrestling Kid.
Well, how you doing, bud?
Good.
Good. It's good to meet you.
Who were your favorite wrestlers as a kid?
Well, look, like many kids from the 80s, I ate my Flintstone vitamins because of Hulk Hogan. I did. He was the guy. Then he had, the Macho Man Randy Savage. He was the guy. I also snapped into a Slim Jim because of him. He had the Junkyard Dog. You know who I'm talking about? Okay. That was a fun one as well. Those were probably the big three.
What was your favorite match of all time?
Favorite match of all time? I think anytime you saw Hulk Hogan in a WrestleMania type match, it was pretty incredible. It really was. I would say watching him when he was starting to pass the baton off to people like The Rock and some of the up-and-comers, when he would come in there with interaction, and that was pretty cool. It was. We just saw the next generation starting to step forward and take over.
What was your favorite WrestleMania of all time?
Well, the first one. WrestleMania 1, it set the tone, man. That's where it all started, and look what it's become. It's pretty incredible. You know, living in Tampa, it has such a rich wrestling heritage. It really does. You know, you fly in, and there's Big Show, right? You've got John Cena, you know, walking around Tampa, going to the Italian restaurant just up the road. And Hulk Hogan, of course, is there. You can go downtown, and you see Ric Flair going, woo, at the dock, right at the port. It's pretty incredible. Tampa's a special place. And then get to see a lot of these guys, it's just amazing to see them now in this part of their life.
What was your favorite WrestleMania match?
Wow. Favorite WrestleMania match? I don't know that I have one. You caught me on this off guard on that one. I'd have to go back and think. What's yours?
40.
40? Why? The excitement or?
Because I went.
Because you went? Or were you ringside? Is that what I heard? Who gave you the tickets?
Cody.
Cody Rhodes. You know who my son loves? He loves Cody Rhodes too. He does. He thinks he's the guy. He does. Jey Uso as well. He likes Jey Uso quite a bit.
What was your favorite Royal Rumble?
Well, to be honest with you, probably lost a little bit of focus on the Royal Rumbles as I started serving in the military and bouncing around the globe. I didn't follow it quite as much. We didn't have cable necessarily for where that I lived. But, you know, what I love more than anything is the fact that it's a multi-generational thing. I remember sitting there when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way up into high school and watching my favorite wrestlers. And to see my son, you know, Colt especially, really take hold of that and share it, and to want to see the Royal Rumble, to go see the next, right, the starting wrestlers as they come through Tampa and they come through some of these little small towns trying to make it to the big top, right, the big show. It's pretty incredible. And to get to share that with him as a 50-year-old guy now, it's pretty special as a dad. It really is.
Thank you for letting me interview you.
Well, hey, thank you for having me, World Wrestling Kid. It's pretty awesome, man. Kind of a big fan.
Big girl, that's fine long as you stay near. I'm getting sunburned on you. Red hot roof of that Malibu. Bare feet up on my dash, kissing in my rear view. Every little